Hello, good day. I'm Philip Branton with the Revoked Civil Servant with another update. Hope everyone had a great Christmas break going into New Year's. Just wanted to give you this little update. It's been a rather interesting time, I guess, if you've been paying any attention to the stock market. It's been whiplashing back and forth, down 600, down 400, and then it'll go up by 1,000, and now it's down, by another, I don't know, 600, whatever. It's really nothing to laugh at because people's pensions are getting pinched. But anyway, this update, I want to give you some food for thought over the New Year's stretch here, especially with the government being shut down. A lot of other civil servants kind of, maybe twiddling their thumbs, wanting to know what can I do. Well, here's one article. Once again, it is on the Defense News website, and I will link to that. Defense News. And this article covers how the new House Armed Services Committee is ripping, Donald Trump over General Mattis's firing. Okay. The other article is where the Department of Justice now is hitting Chinese hackers for attacking the U.S. Navy agencies and its companies. Okay. Subcontractors, personnel, they got the Department of Justice going after them. Now, the one on Defense One is by a gentleman by the name of Patrick Tucker. Now, I guess maybe I've met him maybe once or twice informally when I've been up to one of the Defense One Summit, technical conferences there in D.C. Over the last couple of years. Likeable guy. He writes a great article, okay? But in his articles, he's explaining, what the situation is. Who's being indicted. It's a great read. I'm not going to really steal any of his thunder here. But once you kind of view this article with, some historical context, certain questions, will come to mind here. Now, I went ahead and commented on the article. I'm wondering if they even kept my comment. We'll see here. It's loading. And let's just see if it's going to show it. I guess I should have done this and loaded the comments before I started the video, but hey, right now it's actually not showing my comment. Basically, I went in and questioned what type of article this was, saying, hey, this is 2018. You mean we're just now being concerned about Chinese hackers? So, basically, I said, hey, what I will do is in the comment section, I will link to and repaste what my comment was so you can read it yourself, even though when you go to the website, you can't. Okay. This is an example of what I'm talking about when I call data manipulation. Narrative or informational or psychological control. Because when you come into any article and you want to add any type of factual data, that changes the ripple effects across a network. It just does. For every action, there are equal and opposite reactions. Okay? And it is that type of awareness that a lot of our analysts don't even have. Now, in this article, it talks about two different contractors, FireEye and CrowdStrike, which you can Google yourself. They're on your little smartphone, FireEye and CrowdStrike, and just read for yourself what those companies are all about. Kind of like Palantir and other companies. Okay. If these companies, which I alluded to in my comment, are so concerned about Chinese hacking right now, well, then where were they over the last decade? Informing people what was going on with the Fairfield County nuclear power plant and heist. That's here in South Carolina, for those who do not know. Basically, power plants have been built, and we've got there were 2 reactors, I believe, in Fairfield, and there's 2 down in Georgia. Same scenario. And basically after the 3rd rate increase, when they came back and said, "Hey, we need to raise these rates," alarm bells start going off, especially for anybody in any type of government contracting. It's just like a dog whistle. Something is going on. So, those of you in the military and have been following the Fat Leonard saga, there are certain correlations that you can make between a lot of the data sets. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to highlight this article. The other article being on Defense News, like I said, about the House Armed Services Committee. Now, the guy that they're talking about is a Democrat out of Washington State. We'll see there's direct correlation and direct ties with Charleston, South Carolina, where I'm at, through Boeing, because they have a plant in Everett, Washington to manufacture planes, and they got one down here in South Carolina. And right now they're waffing where the unions are trying to come back in. They're filing lawsuits, discrimination and stuff like that. This article and how it is timed during this lull. It has certain ramifications. Now, what's the guy's name again? Adam Smith is the one that's going to be taking over. He'll be the chairman, once the Democrats take over the House here. And he's talking about, hey, how dare Trump, end Mattis's tenure abruptly. There's no coordinated transition. Once again, I tag to the Defense One article and bring it in to this comment section because I know how people on his staff monitor their own news. Well, what's people saying? Okay. So somebody on his staff there in D.C., they're going to come down, they're going to read the comments. Okay. You can go back on this website once I link to it. And right now, they're not showing. Now this one, it does link to mine. They've not moderated it out like they did on the Defense One. Okay. There's a lot of things behind the scenes of all right, who is paying for Defense One? What advertisers are paying? Defense News. Defense One is a little bit different dynamic because of who is sponsoring that website, who sponsors those summits, all of that stuff. So they're going, because FireEye and CrowdStrike, they probably do a lot of coordinating and funding for some of those technical summits, which is great. You know, I have nothing against the two companies, personally. I mean, all I'm bringing awareness to is if they're going to make a big deal out of it right now, then where have they been the last 10 years? Okay. So basically, I'll kind of read my comments. I said, wow, fist pound, you know, like I'm beating on a desk. I said, the leadership of the House Armed Services Committee is upset about Trump swishing Mattis. It seems that the leadership of this committee has not read the article on Defense One yet, until I linked to the Defense One article. Now, this is kind of an excerpt of what I left on the Defense One website. So I basically cut and pasted it below this link. And I said, now, in 2018, we are worried about Chinese cyber concerns and Trump dismissing General Mattis. What kind of media article is this an example of? FireEye advertising? CrowdStrike massaging? Come on. You know? Where has FireEye and CrowdStrike been over the last decade surrounding the cyber intelligence perking at the Fairfield County Nuclear Power Plant? Construction fiasco and heist. Now see, that ties back Westinghouse, Toshiba, McDermott in Houston. All, you know, it has a lot of tentacles. Nikki Haley with Governor Henry McMaster, but Haley as the UN ambassador. Talk about SCANA, Santee Cooper, and SCE&G ratepayer PII monthly wallet theft. Because that initial article is concerned about 100,000, you know, troops, PII, personal information being divulged. Yeah? So now said, I'm sure the personnel at CrowdStrike and FireEye are great people. But I wonder just how many of them have read the book Flash Boys. And asked how co-location would be observed in Hong Kong. Because not only am I talking really to CrowdStrike and FireEye, I'm talking to Palantir and every one of them. Okay? Navy Criminal Investigative Service, State Department, CIA, NSA. You know, when I mention these companies, I'm mentioning them too. You mean FireEye cannot see the benefits of watching the cyber rings and booze orders surrounding the Fat Leonard before 60 admirals got lassoed? Okay. Because of those data sets, those digital breadcrumb data sets. We, the United States, are not the only ones paying Facebook or Google or Instagram or any of those digital companies for access to that data. So I'm asking there in that article, all right, well, where you boys been in helping protect our admirals? Okay. Heck, just how many of the personnel at FireEye or CrowdStrike will discuss the implication in history surrounding this GoFundMe campaign by me? So then I link to my own GoFundMe campaign. Talking about coming full circle, okay, in a digital realm. It's kind of like my two little balls here, you know. It's kind of like rubbing these two balls together. Yeah, I got you. You know? It's not being cocky. It's just getting people to realize, all right, okay? Especially these data analysts and data researchers, because it impacts this type of holes in data sets. Okay? Is what is getting manipulated through, you know, different chains of access. Okay, so I linked to my own GoFundMe account. Right? And I said, I will not stand for my captain or rear admiral there at Spay War headquarters out there in San Diego to put up with such media as this article. Defense One nor Defense News. It's the energy. Now that's key, but you know. And sincerely, and I put my own name, Philip C. Branton, again, because I use my own real name at the top. I'm not hiding who I am. And some people, especially in when it comes to whether it be Navy, any type of investigative or analyzation, they may not understand the benefit behind all that. Okay, especially when it comes to how compartmentalized information not only is used, but how its baked in weakness or advantages are. Okay. So I wanted to add an comment and provide this as an update, okay, for you to consider in your own situation, wherever you work, whatever your passion is, okay? Auto parts, hey, think of the logistics involved with that, wherever they're manufactured. Think of how tariffs affect that. Okay? And then think of the informational implications on the timing of certain information. Okay? And how it's being whiplashed. And so that ties back into, and I'm using these two articles as an example of the holes in the data. One showing my comment, one not. Okay? Just as an example. Okay? Because if you're an analyst and you have direct tap in to monitor certain traffic, okay, and you have some sort of moderator somewhere basically squeezing you out of the loop, well, that's going to have ramifications on all sorts of decisions that ripple from it. Okay? So, anyway, that's my update so far today. I think I've got one more coming. Hope you had a great Christmas going into New Year's. Hope your team wins, or whatever bowl they're in. Until my next update, Merry Christmas and rolling into a Happy New Year. And we'll see you then. Talk to you soon. Thanks.